Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and today we're back here at Spring Ledge Farm on Main Street in New London, where in addition to their fine harvested products, they also offer high-quality, hard goods, products from other local farmers and makers, fresh local dairy and eggs, as well as potting soil, compost, and fertilizers to make sure your plants have a great start. Greg Berger, the owner, will join us again to tell me about the history and beauty of this farm in the heart of our town. Zola Shulman, an artist showing at the Blue Loon MicroGallery, will join us there for a look at his work. Andrea Redican and Bill Minsinger will tell us about this year's Civil War Reenactment coming to the grounds of the New London Historical Society. And we'll close with Rick Stockwell for a preview of this year's edition of Arts in the Harbor. Sunapee Harbor, that is. But first, a few words from another one of the underwriters that make your Yankee Chronicle possible. Please stay with us.
This program is supported by Main Street Bookends of Warner. For books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle, coming to you from Spring Ledge Farm. I'm your host, Abby Peel. It seems to be our annual trip here every June, and I'm excited to sit here with Greg Berger from Spring Ledge Farm. Hi, Greg.
Hi, Abby. How are you?
Always good to check in with you.
Yes, great to see you.
One thing that we should talk about, because today's a nice, bright, sunny day, is you are a solar-powered farm. Talk about that.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, just in the last few weeks, we switched on our solar panel arrays, which there's 4 of them here at the farm, spread out over the area. And yeah, it will produce about 100% of our electrical needs. So we're very excited. We've always had solar power to grow the plants,
Got
kind
it.
of think of it that way. And now we've got solar power to help do all the machinery and keep us cool and warm and all that.
So 100% of the farm is solar powered?
Yes.
Wow, what a great fact.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
It's always been an exciting thing for me to get into.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. So it's strawberry season, which is exciting to talk about. It's got to be one of the most exciting parts of your summer here because it's just so popular for people. It's all of a sudden people are talking about strawberries are ready to be picked. Talk about the process of getting to this point and then also the strawberry fields. What can people do when they get down there?
That's a great question. It's we have pick your own strawberries, and that's dependent on the conditions in the field and the weather. So the best thing to do is check our website. We update it every day, and right on the front page of the website it'll say what's going on in pick your own strawberries.
Good to know.
Give you all the information, directions, whether we're open or not, and what our forecast is.
Okay.
So that's the place to go to first of all.
Amazing.
And yeah, it's a very popular program. There's not that many strawberry operations around our area, and we've got a great strawberry grower in Bruce and great crew that keeps them weeded. It is a 52-week-a-year crop in the sense that we have to keep it weeded. We keep planting every year. We plant a whole nother crop for the next season's harvest. So before we even pick a strawberry, it's been in the ground for a full year, being tended to and watered and fertilized and weeded and all that. So
how often do you do a strawberry taste test among employees here? Yeah.
We do a big one once a year. We have a big farm meeting, and we go down to the strawberry field, and they're laid out by variety, and we can try different ones. So that's always good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I heard a rumor that you can get fresh strawberries here for a while.
Yes, that's true. After our main season June-bearing strawberries, we have day-neutral strawberries, and they will produce fruit for us all the way into October.
And so you don't have to go necessarily pick them. You can just come right here.
Right. We'll have them in quarts here at the farm stand all through August, September, October.
So Bruce and his team has already done the picking for you.
Yes.
You just get to eat now.
Right, exactly.
Fantastic.
That's what we're here for.
So I hate to say almost midsummer, but it's crazy how fast it goes here in July. What can people expect here between Spring Ledge, things happening in the crop world and the flower world? What's happening in July at Spring Ledge?
Yeah, in July we still have strawberries, and that's when when our other field crops come in. Loads of tomatoes, eggplant, peppers, lettuces, greens, all those good vegetables for the summertime picnics. We bring in a lot of things from other growers, other farmers and vendors, local meats and dairy and cheeses and crackers and all that stuff. And then our plant population here is still thriving. So we continue to grow down in our greenhouses. We pot up things in a little larger size for people's porches or decks or replacement plants, or just because you need another plant, which we always do. And we've got indoor plants, outdoor plants, deck plants, hanging baskets, and we'll have those in really good condition all the way through the summer into the fall.
Talk about some of your local partnerships. Like you mentioned, you get meat from other places, dairy from other places. Is that just always been kind of, okay, let's evolve what we can offer here?
Yes, part of it is certainly that we want this to be more of a, you can come here and get your, not just your vegetables and some plants, but pretty much everything you need for your meal. And so we work with McNamara Dairy up in Plainfield, and they have the glass bottle milk. It's delicious. And Misty Knoll chickens and turkey, and a couple of beef producers for that. And it's cheeses from Vermont and New Hampshire. And
amazing.
So it's fun to poke around and see what is offered and bring it in and try it and see if it'll fit our...
I like when it's time for dinner and you're like, oh no, what's dinner tonight? And you really can come and you can get meats, cheeses, some really fresh veggies. I mean, that's your one-stop shop for a great summer cookout.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to get together so that it's all here for you.
Talk about the CSA program, because I think it's something that is very popular, but not maybe everybody knows about how it works.
Great. The CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and it's a program where the customer will pay up front, and every week they'll then get a bag of vegetables, of produce. We always try to have some fruit in there and all our vegetables, and then that goes for, it depends on the season, but 8 weeks or 12 weeks. We also have a cut flower CSA, so same kind of thing. You pay up front, and you get a fresh bouquet of flowers every week. It's different every week as the flowers progress through the season, and a lot of people give it as a gift, because every time the customer gets that, they think, oh, that was a nice gift.
I like that. And a weekly gift. Here's one gift one time, but you get to benefit for a couple weeks. So that's fantastic. And that information can be found by calling or coming.
Yeah, you can call, and it's all on our website too. You can sign up there, and it's prorated. So if if you sign up partway through the season, if we still have space in our program, then you get that.
What a great opportunity for people to get something every week from Spring Ledge Farm.
Yeah, and the vegetable one has recipes in it. Even if we have a new vegetable in there, it'll tell you a little bit about it and how to cook it.
Okay, everyone check out the CSA program here at Spring Ledge. Well, Greg, it's always fun to check in with you this time every year. There's so much going on. I mean, you've got a lot going on through the end of the year too, but we don't need to talk about the S word yet, so we won't talk about Christmas.
Yeah, summer is still cranking away here.
It feels good. Thank you for hosting us. Great to chat with you.
Great, thanks to see you.
The microgalleries are a sweet aspect of the mission of the Center for the Arts. When we return, we'll visit with Zola Shulman at the Blue Loon Bakery on Main Street. First, these words from another YCN underwriter. Please stay with us.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. We are coming to you from Spring Ledge Farm here in New London. I'm Abby Peel, your host. Just down the street is one of several micro-galleries in our area. Let's head over to Blue Loon Bakery to meet the artists and see the show hanging there.
Was actually a practicing architect for 30 years, and then changed careers to special education, and then retired from both of those in 2009 to paint full-time. Well, you probably can blame my parents for my interest in painting, because they took me to the studio of a good friend of theirs who was a painter, actually a fairly well-known painter in New York, part of the Ashcan School of Painting. And I was 2 years old, and I finger painted with him, and I guess I caught the disease of wanting to paint. And then my parents were really interested, growing up in New York, to introduce myself and my sister to all the art that was there. I was taken as a pretty young child to walk the galleries. And I was particularly taken by the painters that emerged in the late 19th and early 20th century, like Matisse and Picasso. You can probably see by my tie that I'm influenced by Vasily Kandinsky. I was very much influenced by working, while I was an architect, with two painters. One, Peter London, who wrote a book called No More Secondhand Art, and another painter named Seymour Siegel, who's part of the Canadian National Gallery of Painters. And both of them encouraged me to not be a copier, to be whoever I was. Whatever that was fine. I didn't need to be a Bruegel or a Rembrandt or a Hopper or any other, well-known artist. I just needed to be myself. And so I think that accounts for the wide variety of work that I take on, because there's so many things that interest me. So this painting is called Sunapee Harbor, and I have been to Sunapee Harbor innumerable times, so I'm familiar with what goes on there. And so there were a number of things I tried to do with this painting to bring in lots of elements of Sunapee Harbor within this 36 by 40 inch painting. A boy on the way to fish in the lake, a truck towing a boat that he is putting into the water, and sees somebody he knows, a boy on bicycle whom he's talking to. And then there's some people that are already out on the lake in a motorboat, a couple that's going out into the main part of the lake, out of the harbor. And I wanted to include the activity in the harbor, as well as just the physical nature of the harbor. And so I wanted to include the Anchorage restaurant and some of the barns along the shore and the trees along the other bank and the American flag and some flowers and one of the stores that borders the harbor. If you went to the harbor, it would be difficult for you to catch all of those in one glance. But I wanted to capture all of them in one glance, and so that's why the painting is kind of a condensation of what's at the harbor, and to the extent that I needed to do it, I distorted perspective in order to bring those elements in. Well, this piece started out, this painting, mixed media of the Owl and the Pussycat, started out as a free-form sketch using crepas. And as I was going along, all of a sudden I started to see these animals and decided that I would go with what I was seeing. And this is meant to represent when the Owl and the Pussycat met. The original poem on which Owl and the Pussycat is based talks about their sailing off to a magic land and getting married, I guess. But this is how they met. The Pussycat comes through the fields and into the woods, and there is this handsome owl, which she is struck by. And he is immediately falls in love with her, and they decide that they're going to have a romantic trip. And what I did then is, because I liked the original poem so much, I decided to write a sort of a prequel poem to talk about how the Owl and the Pussycat met. So, although the original is crepa, when I got further along, I wanted to define some of the image a little more clearly than I could with crepa. So I used some acrylic paint to model some of the animal figures. Also used some photographs of water and sort of jungle that would give it some depth. So, and the whole thing, actually, the original is on a piece of paper that I mounted on a canvas behind, which I painted to match the theme. and so that's why it's mixed media. So you've seen 3 of the works that are in this current show at Blue Loon Bakery in New London. As you can probably tell, there's a great variety of work here. There are 30 works to view, all different kinds of media and styles, colors, techniques. So I hope you'll come and visit. The show is up through the end of July, and please come and enjoy.
Thank you, Alan. He had a show at the Library Arts Center last year that we covered. What an interesting artist. When we return, we'll be talking war, Civil War, and the reenactment coming to the grounds of the New London Historical Society. But first, these fighting words from the good folks that make our communities the great places they are, the businesses that support YCN, and the other organizations you know and love.
We are strong and we'll get through this together. But these are stressful times. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, and know that you are not alone. Visit wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle, coming to you from Spring Ledge Farm in New London. I'm your host, Abby Peel. And up the road is the grounds of the New London Historical Society that will be hosting a fun and interesting event on July 9th. Tell us about it, Andrea and Bill.
Thank you, Abby. Yes, I would love to talk about all of the fun, family-friendly events that we've got coming up here at New London Historical Society Village in New London, New Hampshire, very close to Main Street. We just had our season opener in May called Young at Art. It was very successful, so be sure to look for that next May. And our next event will be on July 9th. We're having a Civil War living history event. So I'm here with my partner in crime for the Civil War event, Bill Minsinger. He's a New London resident and also a Civil War demonstrator. Bill, can you tell us about what we're going to see and learn on July 9th?
Yes, so we had actually talked about doing this last year, but got canceled. So this year we have made it a little bit bigger event, actually, and both the 3rd Vermont as well as the 5th New Hampshire will participate, both as artillery as well as infantry, and there'll be a full demonstration of how the Union soldier lived and fought during the Civil War. We'll open the event with cannon firing, and that cannon firing will be done with an original Civil War cannon, number 229. This cannon was produced with the 233 and probably was in action in the Gettysburg campaign somewhere. And we'll finish up with cannon fire at 3:30. But at 11:15 and 2:15, we'll have infantry drill. And during that period of time, again, the 5th New Hampshire will be featured in that event. And the manual of arms as well as marching will be demonstrated, so you'll get a good idea of what the Union soldiers did in battle. And then during the day, the rest of the day, the camp will be open, so you'll see how, again, the Union soldier lived. And at noontime, period rations will be issued to each soldier, and they'll cook their rations at noon, so you'll get an understanding of what they ate as well.
So with the infantry drill, will there be any audience participation for kids maybe?
Yes, so at the end of each drill, we anticipate that we'll issue wooden muskets to some of the younger folks who might want to fall in with us. And we'll be embarrassed if by the end of the drill they're doing it better than we are. But indeed, that always is a favorite aspect of one of these events.
Bill, what is the history of the 3rd Vermont Hemlocks?
So the modern-day 3rd Vermont Hemlocks were actually created during the 100th anniversary of the Civil War. So the organization has been in existence since 1963. Now, the 5th New Hampshire was raised and conquered by Edward Cross and was known as the Fighting 5th. And they fought with this Hancock's 2nd Corps and saw very heavy action, particularly at Gettysburg.
And sticking with the theme of battles, Bill, why don't you use the term reenactment to describe this event?
But we aren't firing at graycoats, so there'll be no graycoats here. This is northern territory. No graycoats at this battle, and there won't be a battle reenactment per se.
Bill, thank you so much for joining us here today. And there's lots of parking, and the transportation building will be open. The village will be mostly open, so you can also see these great 19th century period buildings. And you can drop by and see our 19th century transportation exhibit, which is phenomenal. Oftentimes people comment that they had no idea what a hidden gem there was in New London, New Hampshire, and they're so happy they came and saw. The event is going to be $20 per car, so you can fit the whole family in for just $20. Again, July 9th at 10 a.m. And following that, we have an antique show, which again is backed by popular demand. We had one last year and it was really well attended. We have had over 700 cars, and there will be dozens of vendors from all over the region in tents and inside the Phillips barn. So it's an inside-outside event, but mostly outside, with ample parking on site, and there will be a food tent if you get hungry. And finally, I'd just like to include that this space is available for rental for events, and it's a wonderful indoor-outdoor setting that is unique and perfect for weddings or other events. And you can look up information about renting out the Historical Society grounds on our website, which is newlondonhistoricalsociety.org/rentals. So we hope to see you out here this summer at one of our fun, family-friendly events. Thanks, Abby. Back to you.
Don't forget to mark your calendar for Sunday, July 9th from 10 to 4 for this year's 19th Century Civil War Day. When we return, Rick Stockwell will give us a preview of this year's Arts in the Harbor. But first, these messages from another one of your Yankee Chronicle underwriters.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle, coming to you from Spring Ledge Farm. I'm Abby Peel. We've been hearing about the Center for the Arts MicroGalleries, but let's now hear about a macro event coming up. Hi, Rick.
So we are excited about upcoming shows for the Center for the Arts in July, starting on the 15th. Here in the harbor itself, we'll have what we call Arts on the Harbor, 15 to 20 tents with arts and crafts people showing their work for sale. And up on the hill in the livery building, we have an 8-day art show with over 80 artists. We hang 180 pieces of art, and we have 50 plus in reserve. We sold 50 last year, so when something sells, people usually want to take it with them. We wrap it up for them and we replace it with one of the ones that we have in reserve. So we basically hang close to 230 pieces over an 8-day period. During that time, we also have 2 concerts on Friday nights hosted by the livery building itself, and those are usually pretty well attended. We have a ladies' night specifically for ladies with a steel drum band and all sorts of things going on. And we have an opening and closing reception on both Saturdays from 5 to 7 with free beverages, wine, great food, and the building is now air conditioned, so the weather can be warm this time of the year, so it's great to go in and if you're here touring the harbor, it's a great place to come in the summer to eat at the Anchorage restaurant on the harbor, or go out for a dinner cruise on the boat, or go up to what I think is the best art gallery in New Hampshire, Prospect Hill Gallery, just around the corner, and make a night out of it. Come here on the 15th to see the gallery show, the Arts in the Harbor, and go up to our gallery at the Livery. The Livery is a beautiful old building. I came here 8 years ago and I met Barbara Sullivan and got a tour of this beautiful building, and I said, we have to do an art show here. It's 2 floors and huge space, barnboard walls, a lot of character, great place to do an art show, and this will be our 6th year doing an art show there. So we have artists from all over New Hampshire and Vermont. I think some of the best artists. A lot have been coming here for the whole 6 years. Every year we go out and try and bring in new artists. And it's a great way to spend a day, spend an afternoon. We're open from noon to 4 on weekdays and 11 to 7 on weekends. And come and join us and buy some great art and support the Center for the Arts. The Center for the Arts website, Center for the Arts NH for New Hampshire, has a lot of information about all our other activities. I run the Visual Arts Guild, where we have 6 what we call micro-galleries in New London, and we have openings first Friday openings, gallery walks every 3 months, and the artists rotate their shows, and our goal is to give a venue for artists to help them display and sell their art. Most artists are not very good about selling their art. They want to stay home and make beautiful art. So that's the main thing we try and do for them, is have different opportunities for them to hang and display and hopefully sell their work. The Center for the Arts is also multifaceted. We have a Literary Arts Guild. We have the Visual Arts Guild, which I run, which is the artwork. The Performing Arts Guild, and we have pretty much monthly activities going on. If it's not the first Friday opening for the arts every 3 months, in between those 3 months we have an opening for a performance of some kind, or the Literary Arts Guild has a production that they do every year. They produce a book of poems, and there's a theme, and they usually have local artists or photographers supply the artwork for that. Look at us on the website and see all the things that we do, and it's a great organization to work for. Great volunteers. People are always stepping up to help out. If you're interested in volunteering, look us up on the website, and we're always looking for more volunteers.
Thank you, Rick. It's nice to have so many reasons to get out and about during the summer. We'd like to thank our hosts the last 2 weeks, Spring Ledge Farm here in New London. Their farm's growth and success over the years continues to be a team effort and is highly dependent on the help of all the crews here. Join us next week for another edition of your Who, What, Where, and When show of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region. We will be coming to you from M.J. Harrington Jewelers in Newport, where they are celebrating 75 years of serving our region. Our next replay of the Game of the Week is Sunapee at Newport Boys Basketball. All of our games replay at noon and 7 p.m. on Sundays and Mondays. Check out ycnnow.com for the most up-to-date schedules and on-demand viewing of all of our shows. Thanks again to Greg and his great crew here at Spring Ledge Farm on Main Street in New London for hosting us these last 2 weeks. They are another great local business that supports your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel. Join us next week at this same time for another edition of Yankee Chronicle.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.